This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Well, you know those geniuses over at Cool Mini or Not, which I love all their stuff. I really do. I always have. So all the way since Super Dungeon Explorer, one of my favorite games. I really love that game. I don't know why. Yeah, some people didn't like it, but that's okay. I think because the company messed everything up. But Stranger Things, Upside Down. Now, you see this little box. There's a lot of game that comes in this. And it's a Rob Daviau game, which usually means that it is a great game without any hubbub. But is it? Well, there's only one way to find out. I'm going to give you a brief overview of how to play it. I'm going to show you everything kind of like in Season 1. You can play Season 1 and then flip it over and play Season 2. So you get two different experiences. Brilliant just there. But let's go down, take a look at it, and then when we come up top, I'm going to tell you what I think. So I'm just going to show you the first side of the board. There is a Season 2 on the other side that you are going to have a whole different, it'll have a Season 2 with different act cards and things like that, and different allies that you'll be able to play with. Now, you're going to play as one of the characters, and if you're going to play solo, I suggest that you play with at least two characters. And what the whole premise of the game is to try to go around and you have to rescue Will. So you're going to have to defeat each one of these areas here, okay? And in doing that, you're going to have a higher number to defeat the stack. Now, the stack has a certain amount of numbers here. Okay, like for instance, if we wanted something here, you have a 4. You're going to have you're going to have a hand of 5 action cards, and you're going to need to build up numbers enough and hopefully have enough numbers to supersede that. Now, as you can see, I've got enough here, and it's kind of like blackjack because in a way, you may know the top number or you may not know any numbers. The most you can have in a stack is 4. So the numbers go from anywhere from 0 to 5. So you may think you have enough numbers in your hand, but you can get defeated pretty easily, especially if you start adding something up and it's like 5 and you maybe only have already used a bunch of cards and you only have 2 and you thought, well, there's a 1 on top there. Maybe I can defeat that. And by doing this, you're going to get different types of abilities and such as you move throughout the board. You're going to win the game, again, like I said, if you are able to beat these areas and rescue Will from the upside down. As you can see, it is split in half here. The figures, you're going to get a bunch of figures which are really beautiful, and the other thing is you also have enemies. So you have the Demigorgon, who you can paint up and will just look superb running around on the board, as well as some of those dog things that they have, especially for the first season, these come into play. You're going to be able to get allies. You're going to be able to get certain different items. But as you're going around, it's going to be in different acts. And every act is going to be pulling a certain card. So Act 1, you'll be turning over one of these scene cards, okay? And you're going to have to negotiate it. And if you're dealing with a scene card, something bad is going to happen. Well, that's not the only thing that happened. There are certain cards in certain areas and certain things that are going to happen that you may need a card and you are going to pull and use this card. I desperately need to use this card, but not only am I going to pull the scene in Scene 1, which is I'm going to have to deal with one scene, but for every one of these symbols that you happen to play, guess what? You are going to have to deal with another scene, and it's going to become overwhelming because you're really going to take a beating. What happens, instead of taking damage, you are going to take fear. And if you ever get terrified, you lose the game. Okay? Any one of your people get terrified. But on the side of good things, you do have allies that you can pick up along the way. And like this one here, if you would become terrified, remove Barb from the game and reset your fear track to the start instead. So it kind of gives you like another life. Okay, there are a ton of different characters that you can play. You can play as Dustin, which they have the models for, which I'll show you in a minute. Lucas, Nancy Wheeler, of course the Sheriff, and Joyce Byer, and Mikey, of course. And all these figures are right here, as long as more Demigorgons and such. And you could play as any of it. You can play up to four people and really have a good time at this. If ever you get to Act 3, where you're pulling 3 scenes, and you're pulling a whole bunch of scenes here, and you have to reshuffle the deck, you're going to lose the game, okay? So there are a couple different ways that you can lose, and it's really not that great. On the other side of the board, when you're going to win the game when Will is saved again and the gate is closed. So there's a whole nother thing going on the other side of the board. I would turn it over. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do is stop the video. I'll turn it over and show you the board at least. And like I said, the game ends immediately if one or more character becomes terrified, if the action deck would be reshuffled while 11 is already on the third act. Now that's what you're asking. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the action deck, this here. You're going to be taking cards all the time. If you ever have to reshuffle this on the third act, that's when you lose. I apologize for that. I said the scene cards. The scene cards, there's certain cards in here that just make you reshuffle. So if you think you dealt with a really bad card, there is a card in here that will make you reshuffle your whole deck again, and well, things don't go very well. End the day card. Reshuffle the scene deck and move the Demigorgon to any location in the upside down. Don't draw any more scenes this turn. So that's not good. Okay, because there's a lot of nasty stuff in here. Now you're probably asking, where's 11? 11 is not in this game, but she does give you help. She is basically considered to be kind of in the asylum, and or in this area here, and you can get help from 11. So 11 can help you. She can give you a psionic shield that you can use. Any of these things you can only use once during the game. You're going to be going around. There's you actually have really nice standees here that have standees. I laid them down so you can see the 2 different types of vehicles here. One's in the upside down here, one is in the real world, and how everything kind of shifts from here. So you're dealing with everything up here, trying to get into the upside down and rescue Will. Like I showed you all the beautiful miniatures, and it really is a fun, fascinating game. No dice rolling. It's playing your cards wisely, and you've got all kinds of different cards. There are also on these cards, along with, like I said, that where you're going to have to pull those scene cards, which are a disaster, there is a friends icon. So you can get a bunch of allies. You can have as many allies as you possibly can from that particular season, and it will help you. And as you can see, you can get all kinds of different cards from 1s to 2s, and I think the highest is a couple of 3s in here. Yes, there's a couple of 3s, but there are a ton of 1s, and you really kind of got to try to figure out, are you powerful enough to knock these things down? Because as you may knock certain things down and get rid of things, there are ways for more of these tokens to come out onto the board and make life very, very difficult for you as you are trying to go around and complete these actions. Okay, you have 4. Your turn consists of 4 steps. You're going to move, perform an action, refill your hand, and then reveal the scenes. So pretty simple. It's the book is very well put together. It gives you everything that you need to know. It gives you about, anything that will go on, and shows you how to set up the 2 different seasons. As you can see, here's the first season, and then in a second here, you're going to see, I'll clear everything off here and show you side 2 and season 2. Okay, again, here is the other side. As you can see, now you have the vines and the different tunnels in the upside down, and this is season 2. So you're going to have different types of things that you're going to be doing, trying to negotiate this. Again, the axe 11 is not physically in the game. You cannot play as 11, but she is considered help with her psychic abilities and the things that she can do, and she'll help you out of some tough situations here. One of the other things that I failed to mention that I wanted to make sure that your cards give you pretty much everything that you need. You're going to have your character name here. You're also going to have where you're going to start as a location, how much movement you have. Pretty much is just 1 movement, and then you are going to have a +1 to rescue. Joyce has a +1, but each character has a different type of special ability that is going to help them. Dustin is able to move 2, so he's a little better and a little bit more nimble. And as always, like I said, you don't want to become terrified, because that's going to end the game, and this is a terrifying game, so it's very easy to become terrified. Like I said, very simple rule book, very smart done. Rob Daviau game, so how can you go wrong? Let's talk more about this up top as I give you what I think of this game after playing it a couple of times. Now, I've only played season 1, and I've gotten my butt kicked relentlessly. And when my daughters saw this, who are huge Stranger Things fans, saw this, they go, "Oh, Dad, we want to play." So we played, and of course, I'm the one that gets terrified and couldn't get rid of it. When people come out with games like this, it's usually a cash grab, okay? And, you put Stranger Things on it, it's a popular TV show, it's beloved, and they never live up to it. I'm going to tell you right now, this feels like Stranger Things. It has that really just fantastic feel. The art's good, the gameplay is tremendous. You're trying to figure out your actions, running around and hoping that you can there's no dice chucking, so you're trying to play your cards correctly and pray that you can utilize and get things done the best you can. And you have these scenes that just create more tension and drama and everything else. This is a fantastic game, folks. You need to get this. I really mean that. I'm not just saying it. If you are a fan of this game, you are going to love it. One of the things that caught me was, well, where's 11? Where's 11? Because, it's a popular character. She has an effect, but she's just not a character you can play. And at first I thought, but as I started playing with all these different characters and everything, it made sense. It was smart. It's done well. It's brilliant. Being able to use her psychic powers when you need them, and you can only use it once. And trying to beat each area, and then trying to save Will, and the Demogorgon running around, like a mad dog. It just feels everything that you would expect from this game, and it is glorious. A must-have for every collection, especially if you are a Stranger Things fan. Cool Mini or not, did it again, and they took an IP and just made it their own and did a fantastic job. Hats off to Rob Daviau, who again just made a fantastic game. So I really, really suggest this. I hope you guys run out and get it, and you'll see how excited I am. I hope you will be excited as well. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.